So you want to make a real difference.
Right. That's what we're here for, right?
Exactly. Not just punching the clock, but like really shaping how things work. That's what we're diving into today, right?
Absolutely.
The world of a public administration manager.
Behind the scenes.
Behind the scenes. These are the people making those big policy dreams
Yeah.
actually happen.
The actual reality on the ground. Love it.
It's a big job. And we've got a ton of info from RoleCatcher to help us break it down. So it's not as easy as just saying, I want to work in government.
Right.
There's a lot to it. What does a public admin manager even do?
Okay, so think of them as the bridge between this great idea and then tangible results. They're the leaders who direct and monitor how those policies become action. They got to evaluate those policies are actually working.
Wow. So it's a lot more than just like, I don't know, signing off on stuff.
Yes.
They're really involved.
Very involved. They're conducting. They've got all these different instruments, staff, the budget, all the departments.
Yeah.
And it all has to work together.
Oh, that's a great way to put it, like a conductor.
Yeah.
Trying to make sure everything makes sense together.
Exactly.
Now, you would think this would require some crazy, like, specific skill set, right?
Right.
But RoleCatcher found that, well, it's not so much about technical stuff.
Okay.
It's about something kind of surprising.
All right.
Being a really, really good listener.
Really? Interesting.
Yeah. So apparently active listening is huge EE.
Okay.
RoleCatcher said like 57% of these roles, that's what they want.
Wow.
Because these managers are dealing with like everyone, right?
Yeah.
Officials, colleagues, everyday people. You have to get them.
You have to understand where they're coming from.
100%.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's not just about, I have this great policy idea. You have to bring people along.
Yeah, you got to get them on board.
But let's be real, this isn't an easy job, right?
No.
What are some of the challenges they're facing?
Well, first of all, it's not for the faint of heart. It is high stress. It's a lot of work, long hours, a lot on your plate. And then on top of that, you got the bureaucracy.
Ugh, the dreaded red tape. I feel like everyone's got a red tape story.
Oh, I'm sure.
What does that actually look like for a public admin manager, though?
So imagine weeks, maybe months, trying to get something approved.
Oh, no.
By like 5 different departments just to get a pilot program going. Or you're trying to explain some policy, very complex.
For someone who, like, doesn't even care.
Doesn't even want to be there.
Yeah.
So you need a lot of patience. You need persistence. But on the flip side,
okay,
you have that purpose.
Yeah.
You're making a difference in people's lives. That's got to feel good.
That's huge. Okay, so for our listeners who are like, sign me up.
Right.
What skills should they be working on? It is kind of amazing, right? You need that hard skills, but then also that human element.
Yeah, you got to have both.
You got to have it all.
Yeah.
So strategic thinking, communication, diplomacy.
Right.
And that made me think about like career progression. Because you're not just going to, you know, walk in on day one as like a public administration master.
Right.
So RoleCatcher had these great examples of the different career stages.
Yeah.
So let's walk through that journey a little bit. Speaking of starting out, they really painted a picture of what it's like to be like an entry-level public admin assistant.
Okay.
What are some of the things you might be doing on a day-to-day?
So at that level, you're really the support system.
Okay.
You're helping implement policies, gathering data, maybe preparing reports.
The nuts and bolts.
Yeah, you're the glue, basically.
Right.
You might be answering phones, dealing with the public.
Wow. So you're getting a real sense of like what people are thinking.
Exactly. Yeah, getting a feel for everything and probably working on some smaller projects.
Okay, so you're learning the ropes.
Yeah.
Then you gain that experience, those skills, you move up, right?
Right.
So you become a public admin coordinator.
Yeah.
How do things change?
So now you're coordinating those policies, you're supervising staff, you're managing projects, you're keeping an eye on the budget.
Okay, so more responsibility.
Yeah, you're doing evaluations, analyzing data.
Wow.
Writing those reports for your superiors.
So you've gone from assisting to like really shaping things.
Exactly.
You need to be organized. You need that leadership.
Yeah, for sure. And communication, still key.
Right, because you're the link between different teams, maybe even different parts of the government, right?
Yeah. And now it's about being tactful, negotiating.
Oh, interesting.
You're navigating all these different people and perspectives.
Yeah.
Got to make sure everyone's on the same page.
It's a lot of like relationship stuff too, it sounds like.
It is. And then if you're doing a great job,
Yeah.
you're showing your leadership, you're becoming the expert. Right.
Then you become the public administration manager.
Okay, we've made it. We're at the top.
We're here.
So what's it like at the top? What are you doing?
Now you're directing, you're overseeing everything,
Wow.
big budgets, important reports,
Going straight to the top.
straight to the top. This is where it all comes together, all that experience, certifications, the connections you've made.
Yeah.
You are the leader, the strategist.
Big shoes to fill.
Right.
Yeah.
You're thinking long term. How do these policies actually make things better for everyone?
That's amazing. So it's a huge responsibility, but it's got to feel good.
It does, but it doesn't stop there. RoleCatcher also mentioned the senior public admin executive.
Oh, okay. So that's like above the top.
That's like the peak of the mountain.
Okay, I'm ready. Paint me a picture. What is that? So you're basically running the whole public administration side of a whole government agency.
Well,
Developing policies, implementing them, talking to the highest level officials.
with a lot of pressure.
Yeah, but you're shaping the entire direction of the organization.
That's incredible. And someone listening right now, maybe just starting out, they could be there one day
Exactly.
making those decisions.
And RoleCatcher gave us a roadmap. It's not just about climbing. It's about building those skills, the knowledge, the experience to lead.
Right, to do it right.
To do it right. Which actually reminds me, it's more than just, knowing how to do paperwork.
Right.
RoleCatcher talked about some really important areas.
Like what? What stood out to you?
Problem solving, obviously good judgment, decision making.
Yeah, you're going to need all of that.
Managing your time, managing resources.
Oh, yeah, I bet.
And don't forget those people skills.
Oh, for sure. You're working with people constantly, right?
All the time.
So communication, negotiation, empathy.
You gotta have it.
You got to have it. It's like you're a conductor, but also a diplomat.
Right. And maybe a therapist too sometimes.
And a therapist. Oh, my gosh. And then on top of all that, you need to know so much.
Oh.
Like about public administration, policy, budgeting, law.
Yeah. There's always more to learn.
Always more. How do you even keep up?
You got to be a lifelong learner, right?
Right.
RoleCatcher really emphasized staying current, going to conferences, being a part of those professional organizations. It's all about that growth.
So it's not just what you know walking the door, it's what you learn along the way.
Exactly. Always be learning.
And speaking of which, we talked about certifications before. The CPM, the PMP, those were big ones. What makes those so important?
It's like, you're not just saying you can do it. You've got the proof.
Right. It's like a stamp of approval.
Exactly. So the CPM, the Certified Public Manager, that one's all about those core skills. Leadership, planning, budgeting, managing performance.
Like how to be good at your job, basically.
Yeah, pretty much. The essentials for being a public administrator.
And the PMP, the project management professional. I feel like that one's everywhere.
It is, because it applies to, everything.
But even in government.
Especially in government. You're juggling so many things at once. Tight deadlines, maybe not a lot of resources.
Oh, yeah, I can imagine.
You need those skills, being able to plan something, execute it, monitor it, get it done.
That's huge.
Yeah.
And RoleCatcher even mentioned a CGFM, Certified Government Financial Manager. That's very specific.
It is. So if you're into that financial side of things,
yeah,
that could be a really cool path.
It's like you said, always be learning. You can really specialize.
Absolutely. Certifications show you're serious. You're invested in your career.
And they set you apart, right?
100%. You're building up what you can offer.
Very cool. Okay, so someone's listening to this and they're like, all right, I'm in. What do I do? What are some practical first steps?
Well, RoleCatcher had those great resources, right?
Oh, yeah, they do.
Like the Council of State Governments. They give you a really interesting look at how things work, the different policies.
Yeah, you can learn a lot from that.
And then there's all those professional groups like the American Society for Public Administration, networking, professional development, even job boards. It's all right there.
So it's about connecting with people, learning the ropes, putting yourself out there.
Exactly. And hey, while you're at it, try out RoleCatcher's AI Resume Builder. You never know.
Worth a shot. Sounds like RoleCatcher can really help.
They've got a lot to offer, for sure.
We've covered so much in this deep dive. I mean, what it actually means to be a public administration manager, those essential skills, the different career paths you can take.
It's a whole journey.
It really is. And what's cool is, we've only scratched the surface.
Yeah, it's a big field.
There's so many ways to make a difference.
Yeah.
So if you're listening and you're passionate about public service, about making a real change,
don't wait.
Don't wait. Go for it. Explore your options. Talk to people. Never stop learning. You could be the future of public administration.
Absolutely.
And that's it for today's deep dive. Be sure to check back soon for more.